Hey, this is Jonathan Shuttlesworth, and as you may have heard, YouTube is cracking down on certain kinds of speech that I like to let come out of my mouth. So, in preparation for the inevitable, we're playing Check the News every night at the normal time, but once it's over, you can't watch it on YouTube anymore. So go to my new broadcast app. There it is. You can get it in the App Store, Google Play, or just go on your browser to revivaltoday.tv. You have to subscribe, but it's free. Free for everybody, and you can always watch me there. So please do that today, and every day we're going to draw some random people and email you some random gifts once you subscribe. So go do that right now. The app is Revival Today. Download it and enjoy it. Not only is Check the News on there, all our broadcasts are on there, archived, Netflix style. And then I was going to say something else, but I forgot what it is. So download it now. Revival Today is the name of the app. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for supporting Check the News. And you can catch all of our programs. Plus, we have 24-hour broadcasts going. Just leave it on. Enjoy. For everybody here at Revival Today, thank you. I love you.
Are on the broad road that leads to destruction. And tonight, I would say with Moses, I would say with Joshua, turn, repent, choose God, serve Him, live for Him. That is the message of God tonight to this great audience of people at Yankee Stadium.
I see revival coming to planet Earth. Maybe as never before. It will be untold numbers, and untold, uncounted multitudes that will be saved. The dead will be raised. The arthritic will be healed. Cancer will be healed. No disease would be able to stand before God's people, and that it would be a worldwide situation.
There's a church that doesn't just know about God, they know God. They don't just believe in His power, they carry His power. God will shake the United States of America one last time, not by might, not by power, but by my Spirit.
Welcome to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, as Adalis and I are here to announce our next big move, biggest move we've ever made for Revival Today. Behind me is a building that will look nothing like it looks right now when we finish. We're on just under 5 acres of property that we've just finished purchasing, which is going to give us the ability to have a state-of-the-art studio. And in that studio, something I've wanted to have for a long time, which is a live studio audience. It's going to be a 500-seat building when we finish with it that'll give us the ability to touch the world with our broadcasts. This facility is going to give me the ability to do what I've really missed, which is having you in the audience to minister to personally. Obviously, you can't beat the reach of digital media. We touch the whole world every day. But we have the ability now with this to lay hands on people, pray for people that are sick, a place where you can bring people that are drug addicted, demonized, and really give them the ministry that you can't get on YouTube and Facebook. I can't wait. And then beyond that, we're going to announce the launch of Revival Today Church. We're going to hold Holy Ghost church services every Sunday morning. I'll be there most Sunday mornings. This isn't going to be like some little side project. We're going to give you and your family a place you can go that's a soul-winning church that values the presence of God, where you can get prayed for and ministered to, where there's not a critical race theory lecture or a masks and social distancing 10 minutes of no talking to anybody in the lobby. None of that. We're going to have a place where you're free and where you're free to experience the presence of God.
I'm incredibly excited because I know a lot of you have been asking about different meetings and events that we couldn't have during COVID, and trust me, we tried so hard. So this really frees us up to do everything that we want to do with healing meetings and women's conferences. So I am so looking forward to seeing you and having you be a part of this.
So I want to give you a twofold call to action. Number one, if your church turned in to a liberal nightmare in 2020 and you need a place to go, I would be happy to have you at our church. Number two, if you are a partner or a friend of our ministry, Revival Today, this is the biggest move by far we've ever made. By the time we finish remodeling that building, the acquiring of the property, you're looking at a couple of M's. So if you would stand with us now, I'll say thank you ahead of time. Pray and ask the Holy Ghost what he would have you to do. You've been so generous, and I thank you ahead of time for your extreme generosity. I know I speak on behalf of my wife, everybody here at Revival Today, when I say we love you very much. And now I can say I look forward to seeing you face to face here at the new home of Revival Today.
Hey.
Thank you. Inexplicable.
Good morning, everybody. I hope you're awake and you've got your pocket full of cash and you're ready to invest. I want to welcome you to today's episode of Check the Market. I won't hit the New York Stock Exchange bell because it's not open yet, right? Pat, Patty Pat. I want to say welcome, David. Welcome, Alabaster Jar. These names. Lisa, she's got some bananas up. Not sure what that means. Is that like some type of terminology for the money market?
I believe that's to the moon.
Oh. My bad. It's a crescent moon.
Yes.
My bad. It looked like bananas.
It does look
Sorry.
like bananas, right?
Sorry, Lisa. Use the full moon next time. Christopher Herrera, nice to see you. Pito, you know what? Get out. Pito, get out. And everybody, if you have not yet shared this, I want you to do so because we're going to get into some topics maybe that will offend you. And I'm very much looking forward to that. But first, my man.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Check the Markets. The markets are down a little bit today. The futures, it hasn't opened yet, but the futures are down. About 160 on the Dow, 25 on the S&P, and 121 on the Nasdaq.
Let's rewind. What is the futures?
Futures is before it opens.
Futures,
So
right.
like,
no,
yes.
I knew that, yeah.
So it'll be like the futures of where they see it opening.
Right, no.
Yes.
There's going to be a lot more questions like that.
No problem. Keep them coming.
Thank you.
All right. And yesterday we talked about Blackberry. And Blackberry cranked yesterday.
Yes, I did.
So I honestly wish I would have taken my own advice. And
I took your advice.
I say gambled a little bit. There we go. Market's open.
Yes. Welcome.
And we're down 158 on the Dow. Hold on. I got to refresh this real quick here.
You are aware that
136.
you are aware that BlackBerry was at up 24%.
Yeah, I wish I would have taken my own advice and put every single dollar I had into it.
Oh, that's funny.
It was one of the most talked about stocks this morning on Wall Street Bets, and last night as well. They were talking about BlackBerry the entire time. So it's actually one of my stock picks for today again, if anybody's feeling risky.
Yes. Take the risk.
All right. Well, we got some good news this morning. You can put up the JBS article. Yeah, the one of the meat hacking company. Hack of the meat company.
Is this problem resolved? The meat packing thing?
Yes.
So it was Russia.
Come on. I don't know.
Come on, Patty, it was Russia.
I don't know if it was. I don't know who it is. I don't know where these hackers are coming from. Everybody says it's Russia. Everybody says it's China. Everybody says,
if
and then
something happens favorably towards Russia,
they say it's the U.S. So who knows?
It
could have been me, for all we know.
Something smells fishy. It could have been you. No, it couldn't. Okay. No, it could not have.
All right. So, concerns over meat supply ebb as JBS plants reopen after cyber attack. So they said that it was going to open back up today.
Okay.
They're opening up the ones in Australia and the ones in the U.S.
Wait. I thought this was just in the United States. It happened globally?
Yeah, the company got hacked, from what I understand, in Australia. And then they said that it was just Australia that was affected by it. And then yesterday said, the U.S. and Canada is affected by it. We're shutting down all meat plants. And then on Fox Business and CNBC, everybody was freaking out about it all day.
Come on.
And so today they're opening back up. But yesterday, on Monday, when the first news broke, my first thought was, I should buy a Beyond Meat because it's probably going to go up a little bit. And so I did. I bought a little bit of it, and I made some money. I sold too soon, but I did make some money. It was up 10% yesterday. So,
do you think that that's a push for like these plant-based things?
I don't know. I don't necessarily know if it's a push. If I see more of a pattern, then I'll say yes, it is. But if right now there's just been that pipeline hack and this one. But if there's more of a pattern, then it's either like climate activists that are doing the hacking, or that it's some sort of like, push or whatever. I saw an article yesterday of, I believe it was a lady on CNN eating a cicada sushi.
Okay, get out. Get out.
So, yeah.
Here in America?
Yes, in America.
Hell no. Hell no. It's too early for that.
Kofi said it was Germany, and maybe, who knows? The Chancellor Angela Merkel, she's very savvy when it comes to
that's kind of true.
Computer. She's probably hacking it herself.
Don't sleep on
in her
her.
living room.
Don't sleep on her.
All right, next article. Oh, actually, before we do that, Bitcoin conference this weekend. So
in Miami.
In Miami, Florida.
Can anybody just show up? Or do you have to have you have to be a
buy
shareholder?
Tickets. Yeah, today is for their big guys, and so they're going to be discussing Bitcoin and what's going on, and I think it's going to be interesting to see what comes of it and how the price is going to be affected, and what
is there like minutes in this meeting? Like, are people like documenting the things that are being said, or is it just for private?
No, it's
eyes?
not private. There's a bunch of like media companies there that are going to be reporting on it.
Great.
Plus, all the big crypto guys on Twitter.
Do you own Bitcoin?
Do I own Bitcoin? Yes, I do.
You do?
Yes. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, and XRP.
Now, explain this before you go on, because I need help.
Yes.
A lot of help. You know that. 1 Bitcoin unit. So when we talk about Bitcoin, I'm talking about like 1 unit.
Yes.
So 1 Bitcoin.
1 Bitcoin, yeah.
Is worth $52,000?
36.
Oh my gosh, it dropped like that much?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't been following it. Wasn't it at 52?
Let's see where it's at right now.
It was at 70 a couple months ago.
Okay, so it corrected a little bit.
Let's see here.
So
It
like
is 38,000 right now. 38,687.
what is it?
$38,687.
Okay, so like can you own like a part of that coin?
Yes.
Oh, you can.
You can whatever dollar amount you want, you can own. You can own from 10 cents, a cent, all the way up to full Bitcoin $38,000.
I didn't know that.
So that's what they would do. Like yesterday with Sheets, that's how they would do it. Like they would just take a fraction. So if it's $3 for your coffee or whatever you're getting, then they'll just take $3 worth of Bitcoin.
Got it.
All right, so we got that conference in Miami, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. I also heard that I saw an article that Elon Musk is no longer the favorite among the Bitcoin community because he basically crashed Bitcoin.
Fly me to the moon.
And
You're going to hear that a lot.
that's
a
fine.
lot.
I like Frank Sinatra.
Anytime you mention Elon Musk,
Fly me to the moon.
Well, I think it's like crash down to earth with him right now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is there like a crashing thing? Is there like a crashing noise that you could put in here? Thank you. Okay, Elon Musk, what?
Yes, so Elon Musk is no longer the favorite among the crypto community
Why?
because he said he'll no longer accept Bitcoin for Teslas, and then that's when
Okay,
it
because
started
he
going
wants
down.
to like move over to Doge or other
No, because of
cryptocurrencies.
like climate change issues, because it's so expensive.
Okay, whatever. That's
to get.
bullcrap.
Yeah.
But okay, yes.
Yeah, and so we'll see what happens at the Bitcoin conference. And next article. OPEC and Russia seen gaining from climate activist wins.
OPEC.
It's the organization of like petroleum. So what it is, it's just a conglomeration of different countries and their petroleum producers.
Huh.
All right, let's take a look at the article real quick. Do you have the article?
It's coming.
Climate activists who scored big wins against Western majors last week had some unlikely cheerleaders in the oil capitals of Saudi Arabia, Abu Dhabi, and Russia. Defeats in the courtroom and boardroom mean Royal Dutch Shell, Exxon Mobil, and Chevron are all under pressure to cut carbon emissions. That's good news for the likes of Saudi Arabia's national oil company, Abu Dhabi's, and then Rosneft, and Gazprom, which are Russia's big producers. So what this is talking about is last week during ExxonMobil's board meeting, 2 activist investors were elected onto the board, and now we got news that a third one has been elected onto the board. So we don't know how that's going to change that company and what they're going to do. It shows that there's like something going on in the Western world where, you know, there's some serious virtue signaling, whatever they're doing, even in the boardroom of these companies that have been staples of American portfolios for such a long time. So we'll see what happens there, but it is good news for those other companies. So I think there might be some opportunity with those other ones, since the U.S. will be, you know, relying on, I guess, overseas oil more than it does on its own companies, or overseas companies more than it does on its own, which is horrible.
Yeah.
And the next article about that. Activist firm Engine #1 claims third Exxon board seat. So if that's something that's going to keep happening here in the U.S., then we're going to have to all rethink our portfolios and call our financial advisors.
What the heck does that mean? Activist firm Engine #1
So-
claims third. That you might as well just like that's a word salad for me.
The Engine #1 is like a climate change activist hedge fund.
Oh.
And so what they'll do is they'll try and get on boards of companies to get them more in line with, you know, their climate goals and make them more sustainable.
Well, that's
green
stupid.
and all those things.
So that's not a good thing, obviously, for
I don't-
the petroleum industry.
Some people are spinning it that it's good, and then others are worried
No
about
chance.
it.
No chance. Unless they're going to bring in like another source.
Exactly. So that's what they're saying. They might move them to produce hydrogen
Right.
or to, natural gas or things like that. But
Exxon is petroleum.
Exxon is petroleum.
Yeah.
It's one of
so
the largest
then
in the world.
stick with what you're good at.
Exactly.
So this is stupid.
Yeah, but I mean, for the long run, now that they're producing electric cars, but even then, you're still going to need natural gas or something to produce the electricity to put in your car, because you can't just litter the world with wind and solar. I mean,
Right.
you have to cover the entire Earth to be able to produce what you need.
Right.
Since nuclear power plants and natural gas plants are what's producing the most.
It's ridiculous.
All right, next article. All right, some good news. The U.S. gains 978,000 private sector jobs in May. They were estimating a forecast of 680,000, so it really blew it out of the water. And
phenomenal. That's good news. That's great news. What is ADP?
ADP is a payroll company.
Right. No.
That tracks like payrolls across the U.S.
Sure.
All right, and let's take a look at the other one, the Unemployment Insurance Weekly. Initial filings broke below 400,000 for the first time since March 2020.
Wow.
So the initial claims were 385,000, and the forecast was 393,000. So for the first time since March 2020, it broke below that 4,000 level, which is looking like the economy as people are getting their jobs back, and that'll help out with the inflation fears in the market. So that's good news.
Was there like a greater fear of inflation because of the checks that people were getting?
Yes, because of the money that was printed.
Right.
The money supply.
So wait a minute.
Usually.
So they were just printing out money and giving it to people, not really like having it backed with anything?
No, it's just, I mean, they're just printing it, and then, it's just debt basically that they're adding to the US economy.
Okay.
So, yeah.
It's like they're trying to resolve one problem by adding 15 other problems?
Yes. I'll have to look up the exact figure. But with interest and everything, what you're going to end up paying back was something over like $50,000. So that $1,200 check, or for a family of 4, whatever that was, is going to end up costing $50. I'll have to look up the exact figure,
That's
but it was
insane.
Somewhere around there. Yeah.
For each family?
Yes.
Because of the taxes?
Because of the debt. It would be like because of the debt of the country. So that's what it would add to it. That whole stimulus package.
Now, do you think, just real quick, just banter between you and I.
Okay.
Do you think that those checks motivated people not to work?
Yes.
Which is why you would see like so much unemployment, just because people didn't really feel like they need to work.
Yes, the checks did, but more so the like extra unemployment benefits, because people were making more money staying unemployed than they were getting employed. That's why a lot of those governors, and that's why a lot of those governors got rid of those unemployment benefits, and now we're seeing the results of that with the unemployment claims going down. So it looks like it's shifting.
That's crazy.
In 2019, the average was around 200,000 for the unemployment claims, the initial unemployment claims.
Wow, so that's pretty high.
It's still pretty high, but it's going in the right direction.
Well, that's good, but that's still ridiculous. No wonder everybody's freaking out about inflation.
Yeah, because if there's nobody to work in the economy.
So is that why like materials are so high right now?
Yeah, materials are high because there's a shortage, because people aren't working, factories are shut down, so materials are going up in price. Speaking of materials, put up that one tweet that I found.
That's ridiculous.
Of the truck with the lumber. Oh, look at that. What a massive flex. That guy just walking out of Home Depot with all that lumber.
What a show off.
Yeah.
His fancy socks.
That's basically the equivalent of wearing 4
Look at this guy.
4 Swiss watches on your arm at this point.
I'm saying. Overwhelmed by all this wealth. Wow. Look at that. Huh?
That's how you flex in 2020.
What is that going for now? One of those things.
Lumber was up 250% at one point, I believe, in price.
Has it gone down?
So I'll have to look up.
So is that why? Is that like reflective of the housing market, because it's ridiculous right now?
It is booming, and then supply again is not the supply.
Do you
doesn't
think,
meet the demand.
again, bantered, forget about these people. Do you think that Pittsburgh is overdoing it with the housing thing, like development and stuff? Do you think they're kind of like, or is there that much of a boom coming into the Pittsburgh?
There is that much of a boom.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think they're overdoing it.
I honestly think that they are.
There is a shortage of housing, because people want to buy, but there's no houses to buy.
Sure.
Yeah. All right, next article. Buy now, pay later wave. Klarna and Affirm and rivals hope to take U.S. by storm. So this is like a layaway thing.
Let me tell you.
I've seen
oh my gosh,
this.
I haven't heard you. I haven't heard layaway in like a really long time. That's exactly what that is. Every time I go shopping, that thing, Affirm pops up or Afterpay.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why would anyone want to make 4 payments of $29.99 for Steve Madden shoes?
So it's layaway, but you get your stuff right away.
Oh.
But you pay for it because
That's
a lot of
gonna
times
be a problem.
Yeah, because a lot of times you pay little to no interest. Sometimes you know, depending on what it is, you might pay more interest. But I've seen that everywhere, and I think that's something that, you know, I want to research, and the audience, if they want to research that as well, see if there's some because it. Can you pull up the article?
So you mean like all of those companies are? You think they're going to shoot up?
Some of them aren't publicly traded. Affirm is, but some of the other ones aren't. A new form of digital layaway has taken Europe by storm and found some acceptance in the US. And the growing handful of rivals in the space are looking to spur more online purchases that Americans pay for over time. Go to the next page, or the next part of the article. So the buy now, pay later services accounted for just 2% of US e-commerce payments last year, but in Europe it's at 7%. So there's some growth, and 10% in Australia. Sure. So there's some growth right there. Yeah, in Sweden, home to the buy now, pay later provider Klarna, installments accounted for 23% of e-commerce transactions. So people see that $29.99 and they're like, "Oh, I'd rather pay 4 payments of $29.99 than pay whatever they want me to pay now."
Do you, by any chance, know how long Klarna has been actively in Australia? Like, what are these numbers? Like, do you know how much time?
I do not know. This was European e-commerce transactions in 2020.
Oh, so just 1 year?
Yeah.
Wow.
But then again, there's, you know, everything was locked down in Europe.
Right.
So
that
obviously
was huge.
e-commerce is going to spike.
Yes.
But it's very interesting.
I honestly think that malls and stuff are antiquated now. Like, you even go in there and like the clothes and stuff, they're not like what they used to be because everybody's just shopping online.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like the old way of doing things, and it's all moving there.
And it's so easy because you just put it back in the box and you return it instead of, you know, driving to the mall and returning, exchanging.
Yeah. Why do I want to walk a mile and a half to Macy's?
Exactly.
Because I parked on the wrong side of the mall. I don't want to do that. I'd rather sit behind and pay 4 installments for a pair of shoes.
Exactly.
That'll come right away. I mean, hello. Okay, so are any of those things public companies? Like public?
Affirm is for sure.
Not
Yeah.
Klarna.
So that's but Affirm is on my watch list to look into.
Okay.
For sure. Yeah.
I'm gonna write that down.
All right. The last article. Google announces a new policy for cryptocurrency ads. So Google is going to allow cryptocurrency ads for Google Ads again, which they stopped in 2018.
Why did they stop? Because of its volatility, or
because they just didn't want people to get, you know, because there's scam companies out there, scam cryptocurrency companies that'll open up a wallet with us, and next thing you know, your money's gone, your Bitcoin's gone. And then they say, "Oh, we got hacked," but I don't know.
Because it's all. Let me just, before you go, I'm sorry.
Okay.
How can just anybody start a cryptocurrency? Would that be isn't crypto all about the technology behind it?
Yeah, the blockchain technology.
Blockchain, specifically for Bitcoin.
Yes.
But like for other companies.
And others as well. It's like
what's Doge?
It's based on blockchain.
Okay.
It's all based on blockchain. So there's almost like a blockchain package that you can use to create your own cryptocurrency.
Okay.
So it would be like
dumb that down is like as dumb as possible.
So like for apps, you can buy like templates to create your own app.
Yes.
So there would be like a template almost to create your own create a cryptocurrency.
Okay.
So you can do that.
But like what's like if I was to create the Adalis, okay?
Adalis coin.
The Adalis coin. I can create. I have an app, right? Like just layman's terminology. I have an app to create the Adalis coin.
Yes.
But and I can start and have people come and invest in the Adalis coin.
Yeah.
But what is the standard behind that? Is that just
there's no standard?
There's no standard.
That's why they're talking about regulation a lot, especially with what they consider altcoins, which is other than like the big ones, which is Bitcoin, Ethereum. So that's why there needs to be some regulation, especially for those smaller ones.
Because that's where the fraud happens. Because I can start and you can invest $1 million and I could just take your money and run.
You can take $1 million and just run. And that's what has happened in India, I believe. There's been a couple of those instances. Yeah, so where it's basically almost like a hacker group making their own cryptocurrency and then just running with the money that people put in their wallets.
Now, when I put my money to the Adalis coin, this app absorbs the money so that I can take the money and spend it to the USD.
You would have to like take it out. But if you have this like the servers where all of that is stored on, then you can do whatever you want.
So I can take that money and make it USD.
Yes.
That's frightening a
Isn't
little
it?
bit. It's a little frightening, actually.
It's basically the same way, like the bank can take your money whenever they want to.
Well, sure, because I feel like I was telling you, like for the people that are older than us, like the baby boomers and like everybody, 50 up. Like they have been trained because we didn't have, maybe not you, you're still young. I didn't have the internet until I was like, 16, 17 years old. So like, whatever information was given to you, that was the information that was given to you. That was the truth. Yeah. So they can manipulate the market however they want. Yeah. And so they can tell you this is the best way to invest. And that's in and of itself is manipulating the market.
Even if you go on just any like website, there's ads that are ran for stocks. Oh, two hottest stocks in 2021 or whatever. And you go on it. And you can tell that this is just a cheap website. It's just somebody who's trying to push. Yeah,
it's a Nigerian prince trying.
Could be exactly.
Yeah, because like, so you're an idiot if you're gonna be doing this without really studying and like knowing what you're getting into. Yes. Because like with the market, the stock market, you are investing in something where. The central banking system has everything to do with it. Yeah. And we know how corrupt it is because it's just like a communistic way of doing things. And so Bitcoin is decentralized in that. So to me, I feel like that's where because we know we cannot trust anything to do with like government. Don't you think that the stock market is going to be like antiquated?
I don't necessarily believe the stock market could be antiquated because you could potentially buy shares in Bitcoin. If they wanted to do that, you can buy shares in companies. Right. Because when you buy a share, you physically own a part of that company.
Question.
Yes.
But if the dollar collapses,
then just use Bitcoin to buy the shares.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So if the dollar collapsing is inevitable, we all know that. That means the stock market is gone. Yeah. So then wouldn't you, instead of trying to get your 401k and trying to like invest in these things, that's why I was telling you about the Warren Buffett. He says buy one and stay with it for 20 years. Yeah. Like as younger people, I'll put myself with you. Do we have that option because the dollar's already so inflated and so volatile? Yes, but you can use any currency. So even if the dollar collapses, if there's another currency, then the U.S. can just be like, we're just going to use like what basically Zimbabwe did. When the Zimbabwe dollar collapsed, they stopped using the Zimbabwe dollar, and they just started using the U.S. dollar for currency. Really? Yes. But who implements that? That's because there's trust there. So the federal banks went into Zimbabwe and said, now I'll back you up because your dollar is worth crap. If you look at all the currencies in the world, the U.S. is still the most trusted currency. Because there's like checks and balances, supuestamente. Yeah, and it's a strong economy. There's so many corporations here. Okay, thank you for that clarity. Sorry that I got you off that topic. Go ahead. No problem. That article, were you done with that article? Yes. Oh, my bad. I'm going to go over the stocks to research for the day. Low risk? Low risk. CRM, Salesforce. A software
and cloud company focused on customer relationship management. They've had consistent annual profit growth, and they're right now sitting on a good amount of cash. Strong buy by multiple analysts. It has a lower price to book ratio than the majority of its peers, which is great. The biggest risk that I see with this one would be a data breach or a hack that would significantly reduce trust in the company, because it's basically a cloud-based, a software company. Medium risk, ET.
ET.
Yes. Energy transfer. It's engaged in natural gas and propane transport, so it owns pipelines. It has an annual dividend yield of 5 to 6%. It's sitting on a lot of assets, and they're much greater than like debt and liabilities that they have. It's maintained at a buy by multiple analysts. I would buy it personally just for the dividend yield, because that's pretty good. Risks.
Whoa. What the heck is a dividend yield?
Dividend is money that you get back from the company. So when they get profits, they'll give money back to you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who determines that? The amount of money that I get back?
It would be like the board of directors, based on how much money the company is making.
Huh.
The risks for that one is it's exposed to the volatility in the energy industry, especially right now. Climate change activism. It owns a stake in the Dakota Access Pipeline, which is like a very controversial project.
Why?
Because
you're ruining nature.
Because of activism.
Okay,
yeah.
Whatever.
Also could be a potential target for ransomware attacks, just like we saw with Colonial Pipeline. High risk, Blackberry. Everybody on Wall Street Bets was talking about that one. They were talking about taking some of their winnings off of AMC and putting it into Blackberry. I saw here that it dropped from a high of 20. We're right around
24, right? This morning?
Pre-market.
Pre-market.
Yep. And then when the market opened, now it went down to about 16, but it's on the way back up. So those are the three that I have for today. For Blackberry, you're basically gambling. So
I'm literally still at a loss with Blackberry after all this time.
There's still some potential there if you're brave, and if you want to trade the swings, you can.
What does that mean?
Like if it goes back down, just buy in, and then once you see it like going back up on the charts, you can just like buy in and just trade the swings.
Is the stock market like gambling?
I don't think so. It
Why?
It is if you just throw money at it.
Okay.
And
you're just taking a wild guess, right?
But if you're researching, like these stocks that I've given here today, if you go home and you research them and you think, oh, this would actually be a good company. I like what they have to say. Look at their annual report. I like what they have to say. I like, their goals for the future. This is what they want to do. I think this is a really good company. I'm gonna invest in it. And so that's not gambling at that point, because and then if you lose money, then it's just because the company didn't do what it said it was going to do, or I don't think that's gambling.
When they say diversify your portfolio,
yes,
that means just grabbing like a little bit of everything from like the spectrum of businesses?
From different sectors, yes. Yeah, so
okay.
Like banks from the financial sector, oil companies from the energy sector.
How many stocks do you have? See, it takes your time. I'd be like 4, bro.
I
so
don't
know. Would you recommend like 100?
No.
Okay. Like 40?
Yeah, 40. 40.
That's a lot.
Little less than 40.
That's
you got to
40
make
companies
sure
you have to stay on top of.
You still have
That's
to make sure
work.
that you know like 40 is a little much. 20 would probably be like better.
Is there some?
But what you can do to diversify is just buy like an ETF. That's an exchange traded fund that's already diversified. There's a couple that diversified into different industries, or you can buy what's called an index fund that just tracks the different indexes like the S&P 500, the Dow, or the NASDAQ. So you can buy an index fund that I believe the Dow index fund or the S&P 500 index fund, it's returned about 12 or 13% since inception. So that's, I mean,
How many
that's
years
pretty
is
good.
that?
Since they started.
What's a good
The
year
S&P 500.
percentage-wise for a company to do?
7%.
7%, that's it?
Yes. And that's one thing that they're talking about on Wall Street Bets. People are like sick and tired of this 7%. That's why they want to like go out there and do it for themselves, because all the financial advisors are saying 7% is great, 7% is great, 7% is great, which 7% is pretty good.
Right.
But they want more, because then they read, oh, this hedge fund this year made 120% return. So why is the hedge fund getting 120% return, and why am I only getting 7%, and I should be happy with that?
Right.
So that's like what this generation now is thinking. They're like, I want to make returns like the hedge funds. I don't want to make returns just the 7%.
So explain to me, a hedge fund is just the multiple people owning?
A hedge fund is like you go to the hedge fund, if you have to have a certain amount of money to be able to invest, and then they invest that money for you.
Right.
But because they have access to market data, they have way more money. They can make bigger trades. They can essentially, if they band together, they can move the market
And manipulate it. And lie.
Well, manipulate it.
So you're saying, like, give me 20 good companies. What about, like, is there, like, would you break it up into, like, low, medium, high? Or would you break it up into, like, this is, I'm gonna like reserve $10,000 for different companies that I'm just not gonna touch. So I'm gonna like invest that, continue to like put money into it,
Especially
just for
some
steady
that
growth.
bring good dividend stocks.
Dividend stocks again. No, because that was the dividend yield.
So the ones that those would be dividend stocks. The ones that have a dividend yield.
Okay.
Because they give you money back from their profits. So those are good long-term investments. So even if the price of the equity of the stock fluctuates, it doesn't matter, because you're still getting your dividend. So you're still getting return on it. So you can stay in it for however many years you want.
Right.
And then, medium term would basically be, okay, I'm investing in this stock, and I see it going to a price of this, and this is where I'm going to sell it.
Right.
And I'm not going to touch it after that. Or if I
Right.
see another good point to buy back in, then I'll do that. And then like the high risk ones would be like, oh, I saw it go up 4% pre-market. They had a good earnings report. I think it's going to keep cranking throughout the day, so I'm just going to throw some money in it. It's basically like speculation.
Okay. That's and you would say put most of your money towards the ones that are steady and consistent.
Yes.
Instead of like just throwing out your
Yes.
money. Well, okay, yeah.
So personally, 80% of my portfolio
Okay.
is in
Safe.
low and medium risk stocks. 20% is what I play with.
Okay. Because when I put money towards these things, these different stocks, I feel like it's gone.
Yeah.
Like I can no longer have any access to it.
Yeah.
So any profit that I make, I keep within that network. And if I sell, like I've sold multiple times, I which is probably going to lead us into the next phase of this thing. I bought the Penn. Which is a gambling thing.
Yeah.
Because I follow that guy, Stool Presidente, whatever his name is, Dave Portnoy. And so I thought, like, especially in a time when people are home, gambling's just gonna go straight through the roof. So I made a lot of money, in the short amount of time. So I took that money once I sold it in what I thought was going to be the high, and unfortunately was nowhere near the high that Penn, Penn, made. I took that money and I like reinvested it.
Yeah.
So I feel like that is probably like a good habit to have.
Yes.
Where you're not. I didn't take that money and put it in my bank account.
Yeah.
I'm taking that and I'm just kind of. It's like, to me, I look at it as like monopoly money, right?
Yeah.
It's like I'm taking this and I'm reinvesting it with whatever profits that I made. Would you recommend that, or do you
would.
think I should pull it out
No,
when
I
I get
don't
a good
think-
chunk?
I don't think that you should pull it out. I think that you should definitely reinvest and reinvest and reinvest. Because that's how you build wealth. That's how Warren Buffett built wealth. He didn't just like take it out. He reinvested and bought more companies and bought more companies and bought more companies, and that's why he is where he is today.
Okay. If you have any questions, I want to hear them, and I will ask them. So that, and there's no stupid question here. In your opinion, betting lots of money on the outcome of a sporting event, gambling? Preston? Okay. Medical marijuana.
Medical marijuana.
Tell me.
So yesterday we had a lot of questions about medical marijuana. So I wanted to go into it a little bit. It's all about whether or not you feel comfortable buying that stock. It's just
Right.
like with anything. So would you buy a medical company that produces like opioids? Would you buy a beverage company that produces, a ton of alcohol
Right.
beverages?
Right.
Or would you, buy, for example, British American Tobacco, a tobacco company that produces cigarettes? So it's all what you feel like most. If you don't feel right doing it, then don't do it.
Right.
But there is, like for example, with medical marijuana, there is money to be made. So if you feel comfortable buying it, then go ahead. It's the same like with, even with gambling stocks.
Right.
But you have to feel comfortable doing that. You have to feel like right about it. And if you don't, then stay out of it. There's plenty
Right.
of more companies you can invest in.
There's literally hundreds of thousands of companies to invest in. My personal opinion is that if I know like where the trend is heading,
Yeah.
I'm going to profit off of that.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So like if I knew, like we knew that a certain vaccine was coming out, I am, as any of you, if you follow me even for a little bit, you know that I'm very much anti-vaccines. But I'm also not an idiot, and I know that there's certain, businesses that are in bed with developing the vaccine.
Yeah.
And in its inception, it would be dumb for you to not, for me,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying for you, like if you feel different than Roblox. But even Roblox could be a little. Anyway, so to me, I feel like if you have foreknowledge,
Yeah.
like we do in Scripture, that this is all there's going to be a one world money system.
Yeah.
That the dollar is going to collapse. That there's so you already have knowledge of what's to come. For me, I feel like, so then why not invest in? I won't say invest, but why not get like a chunk of that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It'll be, if you, for example, if you hear that there's hurricanes coming.
Right.
You can make decisions based on that. Oh, hurricanes are coming. I know that Home Depot and Lowe's and a couple other companies like that are gonna spike because they always do when there's a hurricane coming.
Right.
And so you can just prepare your portfolio for things like that. Like,
Right.
I heard there's a COVID-26 or whatever. Okay, in that case, they're going to probably want to develop another vaccine. So these companies are like the best ones at doing it. So I'm going to invest in them right away.
Right.
So that's how, or even like with the hack on the meat plant. People are probably going to think in their mind, like I did, Beyond Meat is going to be a good buy. So they bought it. And so that's, you can like foresee some of those things.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that wouldn't be like again, if you do have like convictions about that, then you just don't do it. But for me, I feel like if I have foreknowledge of where this is, if I see that it's trending in a certain way, like I'm gonna go ahead and get my money.
Yeah.
Bring me my money. I want my money. Do you know what I mean? Any questions?
Preston said, is shorting AMC a good play right now? I've tried to short AMC a couple times and I lost money every single time. So personally, I'm staying away from it because it's so volatile. You never know when they're going to like gang up on it again. And it's.
They're really saying that Blackberry is going to be the next AMC? Please, God.
That's what they were saying.
Please, God.
On
Won't he do
Wall
it?
Street Bets. But who knows, those guys there. I mean, it's up 14% today to 1750.
AMC?
Blackberry.
Oh, Blackberry,
Let me
right.
check AMC real quick. AMC is down 15% today. So, I mean, people were talking in the Reddit forum. They were talking, I'm gonna take money out of AMC and put it into Blackberry today.
Everything's going on splendid. Sherry says, so if starting with a few hundred dollars, where do you go? What apps do you need? What is the practical steps and habits that you need to be successful?
Okay, there's a couple of apps that you can use. You can use Cash App. You can invest in stocks on there. Robinhood. Yesterday we had someone say Ally, and I looked it up, and Ally Bank the online bank has
Yeah.
a trading app that you can, or like an investment app that you can download and use. So, and with 0% fees. So that's always something that you want to look for, because if you're investing with $100 and they charge you a $5 fee every time you buy a stock, you're going to lose your money very quickly. So it's good to look for things that are $0 fees for investing. And those are some of the things that some of the apps that you can use. And yeah, start with $100, $200, and then just buy fractional shares and see how you do. Research companies.
Cash App is also like a really, right? Like that's an easy way to kind of like wet your taste buds a little bit, wet your feet, whatever that saying is. I'm bulky. But I think if you start getting into the habit of like taking that kind of money and not touching it, that's a really good habit to develop. There was a question up, did you see it, about some kind of like taxation for crypto? Can you guys pull that up a little bit more? What do you think about fuel cell?
Hydrogen fuel cells?
There.
It's like an alternative to fuel that they're going to be using in the future. I know there's already a couple of vehicles like the Toyota Mirai that uses it. And Germany's actually actively working on becoming the #1 hydrogen producer in the world. I saw an article on that the other day that's one of their goals. With the IRS guidance on crypto, you're supposed to report when a company gives you crypto rewards at its fair market value. But if you sold those rewards, that also becomes taxable.
Would that become taxable? Yeah, right?
Yeah, I believe so. I would have to look into that. Let me make a note of that to see exactly.
AMC went from $38 to $70 yesterday. Ay, Dios mío. What is the best app to use to trade crypto? There's Uphold, right? What else is another one? I have like 4. I feel like Coinbase.
Robinhood has some of the cryptos on there.
I don't know. Robinhood is starting to tick me off. Because you couldn't like buy or sell AMC on Robinhood again.
Yesterday?
Yeah.
There's too much volume.
So like, okay, so mind your business, Robinhood.
And they halted trading because it went up too fast.
That ticks me off. These are the same people. I'm telling you.
But here's a question for you. Would it tick you off if it was going the other way and they halted trading?
I don't care because I don't have AMC. But I'm just saying, what group of people is telling that stock that you can't go past this point? It's too much.
The New York Stock Exchange.
Who is the New York Stock Exchange?
The New York Stock Exchange are the ones that.
Is there like a group of people that like run the New York Stock Exchange that are in bed with the feds and the Treasury of the America?
It's all like what they call like triggers. So when one of those is triggered, then it's like an auto stop to trading. It's all done by computers.
I don't trust it. I don't trust it. I don't trust it.
Bethany Franz. So let's say your husband gives you money to invest and tells you to do your own research. What, in your opinion, should I invest in?
That's his wife. That's true. What should she invest in?
Lugia replied, Louis Vuitton. Yeah, that
sounds
about right.
That is pretty on point. What's Webull?
Webull is another app for
crypto.
For crypto, yeah.
What's going on back there? What's wrong with you? AMC halted this morning from loss. I don't think that's fair. Am I just crazy, or is that just me?
But it gives people a time to think, and there's a lot of robo traders in the market too. So if it hits a certain point, they all start selling, and then you can see a massive drop within a couple of seconds. And so it's always good to halt trading at that point so that people can because if they see that, they're like, oh, sell. And then if they halt trading for 15 minutes, people can relax, and they can be like, oh, okay, I guess it's not that bad. I'll stay in for. because people trade with
So
their
it kind of
emotions.
like it equalizes the
Yes.
okay.
And then it might go down again and hit the trigger again and halt trading again, but it's like it's a safeguard so that there's not too much loss and people can
Safeguard.
calm down before they
Sounds
sell.
like communism. And then Bitcoin is like you could trade like 24 hours. Like
Yes.
it's not like part of the stock exchange.
No, you can trade Bitcoin 24 hours.
Ouch. Is Bitcoin international? Like, can anybody just jump on there and buy it?
Yeah.
So, like, any of these coins, you could really, like, there's a possibility of you investing anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the same with like pre-market on some of these Wall Street bet stocks. What happens is the U.S. market closes, and then because it's night in Europe, and then the European market opens, and people in Europe buy those stocks. And so that's why sometimes you'll see like massive spikes pre-market is because people in Europe are pushing it and they're buying the stocks. So they call them their European brothers or, helping them out. And then the market opens higher again and then it just keeps going here.
So, do the crypto people ever sleep?
That's a good question. I don't think so because some of the tweets that I see are sent from.
That makes sense. Because how are you going to, like, there
Yeah.
could be a huge rush. I don't know how you would.
There have been some huge spikes at night that people trade.
Really?
Yeah. I know, like Abel.
It's crazy.
Abel's told me a couple of times that he was up at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning, whatever it was, like looking at it.
Can you set up like alarms, like if it goes
Yeah.
a certain point? Really?
You can get like notifications and with those trading apps.
I don't understand how anybody would. Thoughts on Penn National?
I would have to look into Penn. I haven't looked at Penn National in a while.
Is that Portnoy?
Yeah, that's Penn.
I bought in at $27, just so everybody knows. Was it 27? It might have been 24.
Regardless, Abel wakes up at 3. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. What do you think about Biden's proposal for increased capital gains taxes on stocks and crypto? And crypto? I thought crypto was his own thing.
No, crypto's taxed. You're supposed to report your earnings.
You're supposed to.
You're supposed to, and if you don't, then that's what the IRS wants to start cracking down on.
Okay, I see.
I never agree with increased taxes ever.
Exactly.
I just hope it doesn't go through, because capital gains taxes.
Which site
don't
can
like
you read for more and good, simple crypto advice and news? Do you have any like top 3 like websites that you look for or like you go to? They're like your go-tos for credible sources. Because I know like with media, like to me, I feel like I've developed such a distrust for media that if they tell me AMC is gonna collapse, I feel like to buy AMC. And like if they're telling me to sell, I wanna buy because I just don't trust them. So is there anybody that you can turn to that's not like, CNBC?
Bitcoin news on Twitter. I get a lot of my crypto news from Twitter.
Really?
Yeah. So what I would do is I would go on there and I would follow just a couple of these guys. Let me see.
Bitcoin, say that again. Bitcoin what?
Bitcoin news, I believe it's called.
I thought.
And it's a verified account. Let me look it up real quick. Yeah, Bitcoin news. 1.3 million followers. So I look at that one, and then what you can do is you can just go through and see who's following.
I was listening.
That's where I get most of my crypto news is Twitter.
If you want a podcast, I was listening to some guy, and I just feel like he's like a very sharp guy with crypto, and his name is Anthony Pompliano, and his podcast is called The Pomp something. What is it called? The Pomp Podcast, POMP. And he's very well versed with all things Bitcoin, and he gives you like a better understanding of crypto. Because I'm finding myself having to look up these words. I'm like, what the freaking heck does that mean?
Yeah.
So he does like a really good job, kind of like simplifying it, and he has a huge distrust for the Federal Reserve and the central banking system.
They're printing too much money.
They're printing way too much money.
Yeah.
I mean, what we're doing here, we might as well use this because it's the same freaking thing. The next time I go to Starbucks, I'm going to be like, oh, what is it? $24 for my latte? Here you go. It's the same thing. What about Workhorse or Square?
Workhorse or Square?
What is Workhorse?
They're stocks.
Oh.
I'm going to look those up. Square? I haven't looked at it.
Of course he's going to hate XRP. Of course he's going to hate XRP.
So I'm gonna look up Square and I'm gonna look up Workhorse and I'm gonna research those a little bit and I will let you know about those tomorrow. Because I haven't looked at those in a while.
Why haven't I ever thought to invest in Krispy Kreme?
Krispy Kreme is starting. They're not listed right now.
Oh.
But I heard that they are starting an IP. They are gonna do an initial public offering, an IPO.
What is the
Very soon.
IPO?
An IPO is when a company first lists on the stock market.
So does that mean I have to go through this kind of like work audit to fulfill my obligations for us to be a publicly traded company?
Exactly.
So like what are the demands of that? Too extensive?
Yeah, too extensive.
Okay.
There's a lot of demands that you have to meet to be able to be listed on the New York Stock Exchange.
Really?
Yep. It takes like a year, sometimes years, for companies to be able to be listed.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Is there like an approval?
Goals. There's an approval, yeah. Because otherwise, I could start a company right now, Patrick LLC, and then list it tomorrow if I wanted to.
Right.
And nobody has any information. Nobody
Right.
knows anything about my financials. Nobody knows anything about, so it's like to safeguard from
Crazies?
yeah, Bernie Madoff style fraud.
Perfect. IPOs.
Yes, IPO.
Initial public offering. Oh, okay. So they're in the process of doing that.
They're
You
in
think
the
they're gonna?
process. Yes, they are. Let me look up.
Like when that happens, is it important to catch them right when they like open up to the public, or do you wait a little bit to kind of like?
If you can get in on the IPO, it's always good. And Robinhood is actually working on that right now, the app, to where you, as somebody who trades on Robinhood, has access to IPOs. So you can buy the stock at the IPO price, and then usually right after the IPO, right after it opens on the market, it spikes, and you can sell it. That's where a lot of banks and a lot of these hedge funds and companies, they make a lot of money from IPOs because they buy it at the IPO price. So say, for example, the IPO price is $20,
right?
But it opens up at 40, and then they all sell, and they make their money.
Wow.
But retail investors can't, they don't have access to it. So Robinhood is actually working on getting people to be able to invest in IPOs, and I believe they already did one or two of them that were listed on there. So it would be great
cool.
if Krispy Kreme IPO. Let's see here. They filed IPO network on May 4th. Not IPO paperwork on May 4th.
So you're thinking this is probably going to happen within the next few months?
Yeah, absolutely.
Weeks? Days? Days, weeks, months?
Let me look here. It says.
Let me tell you, AR has proven to be a very, very good stock for me, Clay. You think it's going to be $17 soon? Hold on. For real?
They haven't yet said when.
Can you tell the three you said again?
Yes. The three for today were CRM, Salesforce. The ticker symbol is CRM. Energy Transfer, the ticker symbol is ET. And then, if you want to do a little bit of gambling, Blackberry.
AR is also
BB,
really, let me see, it's been really great for me. Okay. Well, that's it, right, guys? Thoughts on cannabis stocks, Steve asks?
Cannabis stocks. If you feel comfortable in
Are there
investing,
any
there
like
are
that
a couple
are
of big ones. Tilray, Aurora, Sundial are some of the like big ones. But there's
Aurora Sundial or
just
Aurora, comma Sundial?
Aurora and Sundial is another company.
Sundial.
Yeah. Somebody from the back just said Northern Lights. I haven't looked that one up. I don't know.
For real? They're, you know what, don't, shut up. Okay, GAP? What is GAP?
Gap, the clothing company.
Oh. There's too many, like...
There's so many.
There's so many. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't understand. This is a full-time job, but I get it. We're going to get good at it. I'm going to get good at it. I'm
Yeah.
going to get so good at it that it's going to blow your mind.
I believe it.
Just give me a couple weeks. All right, that's it. Listen. Let me fix my hair and talk to you. This has been an awesome time. And I want to encourage you, for those of you that don't know anything about us, we are Revival Today. And if you want to sow, we want to give you a special gift to say thank you. What is that gift? I'm not quite sure. Oh, that.
Yes.
How to Make Money in Stocks by William J. O'Neill. Do we have these copies? Because I'd like to read this.
They haven't come in yet, but
Okay.
they
Is
are.
this something you
Yes, that's-
recommended?
Yes, that's one of the first books on stocks that I read.
Just gives you clarity on what? Just the stock market?
Yeah, on how to invest properly. So instead of
Are they going to give me the Warren Buffett take on
they are,
this?
yes, absolutely.
Okay. I'm going to trust the process. Nothing about crypto.
No, not in there.
Okay, so this is How to Make Money in Stocks by William J. O'Neill. This is obviously Pat's choice of book here. So this is going to be for anybody who sows at any amount. These are the ways to do it. You can go to donate on Facebook by doing the hashtag donate. You can text RT to 50155. Those are the ways to do it via Cash App and Venmo. RT Give is the name, the handle there. And then you could do it on PayPal, revivaltoday.com/PayPal. If you want to partner with this ministry, I want to encourage you to do so. revivaltoday.com/gift. And hello, we're accepting crypto. So if you want to hand over your shares of that Bitcoin, Doge, XRP, go for it. Scan that code right there and give. And if you want to do snail mail, I don't know why you would want to do snail mail, but you know what? I respect you for not trusting the system, huh? No calls today? No. Okay, P.O. Box 7, Prosperity, Pennsylvania, 15329. PJ, are you wanting to call? P.O. Box 7, Prosperity, PA, 15329. Yeah, okay, there. And then don't forget, with every gift that you give, so if you're doing it on Facebook, if you're doing it on Cash App, Venmo, all of these, there's no way of us getting your information, so you have to let us know that you gave. revivaltoday.com/offer, and then you will see the book come down on the little thing. So anyway, is that it?
Yeah, we'll take calls tomorrow.
We'll take calls tomorrow. So sorry. This was pretty much for me.
So think of some good questions.
Think of some really good questions. And if you're calling to just be like, my EMP stock of the TCM, XRP, just a whole bunch of gibberish just to flex, I'm not interested. Okay? I love you guys. Pat?
Love you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow.
You have a poem?
Do I have a poem?
Yeah. No. Okay. Love you.
Fly me to the moon.